Hey everybody, Rob here. In a few days, I know, but just haven't had much to do or say, so did a little digging today, so I found quite a few good things. I'm waiting for something to come in the mail tomorrow, so I'll wait for that so I can do it all at once. But I want to do a thread response to Ron Haggerty's 5 underrated and 5 overrated albums. There's a billion underrated. There's also a billion overrated, but I don't seem to have a lot of the overrated stuff. So I'm just going to go with overrated. It's going to be pretty common stuff. Underrated is going to be kind of the same, but I think I have too many here. And some of these get love in the VC, but I don't see them enough being thrown up. I'm going to do a little different than Ron did. Ron went 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, but I'm going to do it. Just going to do the 5 overrated albums, in my opinion, and then the 5 underrated. I think we all know what number 1 is going to be in that list because it's actually was posted in a couple of videos. I kind of agree. So anyway, I'm going to start with some vinyl. Rad, third album, Dancing on the Cover. I think it's the third. This had a couple big hits on it, and it's not my favorite Rad album. I like it. Again, all these albums are good albums, even bordering on great albums. But for me, they're just not. I think they're more popular than they should be. So I guess that's the best way to put it. But Rad's Dancing on the Cover is one. Again, a lot of these are just because they're so polished. You know, they get away from the lesser wall part of it. You know, I know Invasion got a little polished, but it was still a killer album. I mean, literally that, Rad's, you got the EP, of course, which is killer. But then you have Out of the Cellar, which is phenomenal. And, you know, my God. Invasion of Your Privacy, it's like a tick below, you know, Out of the Cellar. My next overrated album is Lita's self-titled album. I like Lita Ford, and the album does have some killer tracks on it. It just doesn't do a lot for me. Like her first 2 albums are pretty raw, you know. So Cat. Sorry. Cat's using the table as a scratching post, so you see the camera shaking. Again, too polished for me, but still a great album. Just it got too polished. Yeah, there's mid late 80s start to polish a little too much. I know a lot of people are gonna have a heart attack here. Oh, I'll wait for that one. Yep. 2. Next one, the Poison's second album, Open Up and Say Ow. I could never ever hear Unskinny Bop again for the rest of my life, and I'd be alright. I think I hate the album just because of that song. But there's some killer tracks on here as well, you know, the tracks that aren't popular. Well worth listening for that, but there's a couple songs on here I just literally can't listen to anymore. Again, got a little too overproduced and polished for my liking, but yeah, you know, that's how it goes. A few people may have a heart attack here, but Def Leppard, Hysteria. Talk about being overproduced, woo, and polished. This was off the charts for that. Great album. Again, if you get away from every single on the album, with Gods of War and the whole first side is the whole first album. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Still, their best album for me is High and Dry and On Through the Night. The EP's pretty good too. Really, I like that. Where they started at, you know what I mean? So this is another album I think is highly overrated. And the final one, the CD. I don't even know if I have the vinyl yet. I lost track of my vinyl. I need to do a list. But this was after your rhymes too, but it's the truth. Metallica's self-titled album. Stop calling it Black Album. I mean, there's some good songs on here. Yeah, The Unforgiven, Lost Me. Enter Sandman, another one of those songs I can never hear again. I mean, Sad But True, Holier Than Thou, Don't Tread On Me. I mean, there's some good songs on here, but this is super, super overrated in my opinion. I would take the new one over this. And maybe it's because they became more mainstream at this point that got me. I don't know, but I have a hard time even listening to this album. Nothing Else Matters is the other song. Yeah, Nothing Else Matters is on here too. I mean, come on. Two of those slower songs on the Metallica album. It's just way, 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 way overrated. The first 4 albums were, EP I guess you call them all, but killer overrated album. That don't make sense, but you know what I'm saying. Not for the underrated stuff. I guess one of these are probably going to shock you. The rest, I know most of you guys know. I actually got 6. I didn't realize that. But anyway, I'm going to start with the first one because I know a lot of people hate this album. This is a remastered version, isn't it? Yeah. Europe, The Final Countdown. Again, another one of the songs I can never hear again was The Final Countdown. Carrie, I don't hate. I mean, I actually like that ballad. But I mean, there's killer songs on this album. You know, people refer to their first couple albums the first 2 albums as being the good albums. But, I mean, there's some good tracks on it. Danger on the Track, Love Chaser. What's the other one I like? Rockin' Night was a hit, but that's a good song. I think this is underrated. I think people bypass this because of the 2 hits on here. But the rest of this album is a good album. Again, I agree, Final Countdown, can't listen to it ever again. It's kind of become, you know, like, oh my god, I'm brain dead today. Metallica, Unforgiven, Unskinny Bop, never again do I have to hear that song. But anyway, that's my first underrated album that's people would classify as overrated. Next band is Leatherwolf. Oh, I picked the wrong. Anyway, I got the wrong CD. I was thinking of their first one, the heavy one, the self-titled one, as well as this self-titled one with the big wolf on the front. I was thinking band, not album. Anyway, their first album is really heavy and it's killer. All their stuff's good, so don't get me wrong. I think this is a very underrated band all around. I know a lot of us guys know it, but I don't see it enough in the VC, in my opinion. I still can't get that. I still haven't had trouble finding the stuff for a reasonable price on vinyl. But I got the wrong CD, but that's the band. Oh man, I'm not gonna run out there. You guys know what I'm talking about. Now this album, in any form, I'm going to show both of you because I grabbed both of them. So, whoa, shit. Arch, Another Return. Originally it was called Another Return to Churchill. The remaster is from Dive Bomb. It's called Another Return. Killer power metal, bordering on speed thrash a tiny bit with really clean vocals. Killer band. I mean, these guys came out a little too late in the scene. I think otherwise they would have been huge. They do have a second album that's For the Sake of Mankind. It's also an underrated album. They got a little more commercial in that album, I guess you would say. But this album is phenomenal. Another I need on vinyl. This album, I love this album. I think I posted a lot on my Facebook. But the band's called Reverend, and this album is called Play God. Every song on this album is fantastic. Their first album was good, World Won't Miss You. It was a little heavier than this one, but this is David Wayne from Metal Church. But this is a phenomenal thrash album, power metal thrash album. This is the remaster, so it has a bunch of live tracks on it, and the live tracks are incredible as well. Reverend, I mean, if you guys don't know Reverend, you really do. If you like Metal Church, you gotta find this band because these guys kick ass. Yeah, I need all their stuff on vinyl. And what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 2 here. I'll just go with this band here. And this is more of a EP. Mass, Take You Home. This band got kind of screwed. People take them as being Christian metal when they're not. Their name, Mass, and some of their songs have that, Christian sound to them. But they talk about cars and girls and partying. So, it's not in love, like love for women. So it's not really a Christian band at all, but they got pushed into that because of their Voices in the Night album, which was produced by Michael Sweet from Striper. So another thing that didn't help them, in that vein, being considered Christian metal. I'm telling you, if all y'all are not listening to a band because they're Christian metal, you're missing out. Some of these bands are better than the mainstream bands, in my opinion. So, don't be so closed-minded because they're a Christian band. Anyway, that's Mass. This is their, some of the tracks on here is Pedal to the Metal, Can't Get Enough, Over You, Take You Home, Want It Back. Holy One is kind of a Christian sounding. But, they weren't a Christian-based band, so for that one. And another one I got 6 here that's underrated in my opinion. And that's Guardian's third album, Miracle Mile. They had a transition from their first, which was good hard rock metal with a different vocalist, and then they got, then they put out the album, Miracle Mile. Wait a minute, not Miracle Mile. God, I get this right sometime today. Fire and Love, which Jamie Rowe came in and did vocals, which is a killer hard rock hair metal album too. This one got a little bit of bluesy to it, but still a phenomenal record, underrated as well. I'm sure all you guys that like Guardian know it. This is the last album before they really went different, but it's just too different for me at that point. Bottle Rocket and what is it, Going, Gone, or I can't remember the other one. But a good band. I'm sorry I'm stumbling through this, but I haven't done this in a while, and I'm thinking as I'm trying to talk. But a very underrated band. Underrated band in my opinion, period. Again, because of the Christian-based theme behind them. Just a good album. And not all their songs are about God and Christianity. There's just good stuff in here. Shoeshine Johnny, Dr. Jones and the Rhythm, the Kings of Rhythm. Killer riff in the beginning of that. If that don't get your head swaying, I don't know what will. Curiosity Killed the Cat's good. The ballad on the end is Do You Know What Love is a good ballad. What's the other song in here? Mr. Do Wrong, also killer song. I hope they put this on vinyl. If I remember right, Scott said it's coming out next year. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he said that'll be coming out too, which would be great because never been on vinyl either. Anyway, guys, there's my 5 overrated and 6 underrated. I could do underrated all day long, man. There's so many bands out there that are better than mainstream bands. But at least to me, that's all that really matters, right? But I'm going to check you out of here. Listen to Danger Danger's Pissed, first time on vinyl. Good album. This is side 2, I think. Yeah. Really good album. You heard in the background, that typical sleazy, hard, Texas bluesy metal, That'll be it. I gotta do a couple of videos. I need to do one for Andy's Vinyl Den. I gotta do one for, I got a couple I gotta do that I haven't done, so. But other than that, I got a lot of good stuff I picked up today, and I will do that tomorrow night maybe. I'm waiting for a couple packages, so I don't wanna do that and open one package tomorrow. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'm talking, rambling. See you guys later.